everybody, welcome back to episode 116 on this Thursday.
It's Thursday.
Night.
Don't.
I know.
Don't do that.
I do that all the time. Like, it's Tuesday, Thursday. It's
Tuesday
Thursday.
has no feel.
Yeah. Hope you guys are doing well. We are still in the thick of it, getting ready to move. It was a big day this week. Well, a couple things. We got
It was a big day this week?
Yeah, it was a lot of things big things got off our checklist, which was getting rid of a lot of junk that we had.
Throwing stuff out.
Yeah, if you've never moved and you wanted to, if you just have debris or if you're doing like remodeling or whatever thing, you can get a thing called a Bagster on Amazon, and then your local waste management company will pick it up.
Is that just a waste management thing, or are there other companies
I think
that do
it's
that?
Other companies, because I think it's anywhere. But I was super excited because they pick it up with a crane. You can fill 3,000 pounds of stuff in there.
And we had about 10,000.
We did get a lot of stuff in there, but we weren't sure exactly what time they were coming of the day, but I really wanted to witness them picking it up with the crane for some reason. I don't know. So
you stood and watched this poor woman
I did.
do the whole thing. Oh, she was
very nice because, of course, somebody was parked in front of our house, so I knew the car that it was, so I had to go across the street to our neighbors, tell them to move so the truck could
You were
actually
a lot
come.
nicer than I would have been about it.
And so then she was
we've had about enough of you people.
Yeah, we're out of here.
Sorry.
So then I was able to watch her put it on the crane and then get up there. It was actually, it took a few minutes, but it was very impressive the way that they did that.
And just one person. When she got out of the truck, I thought there's probably somebody else in the truck to help her. She did it all herself.
Yeah.
I thought I'm surprised, not that she wasn't capable of doing it, but it seems like a two-person job.
Yeah, some person guiding it or whatever, and a person in the truck trying to do the levels or whatever. And then we had a much more just regular trash got picked up today, so feeling good about it.
It's never regular trash for us though, because we're getting rid of everything.
Yeah. So I was excited. You have to buy stickers if you have excess trash, which we did. But even so, I'm like, are they going to pick it up? Kind of thing. It kept on going through my head, what if they don't pick up everything?
And they get it right early in the morning, so that was kind of good.
Yeah. So by the time I came down, it was all gone. So that's a huge relief.
We're dressed normally now, not in grubby clothes like the last time.
Yeah. So we don't. We haven't really had to do any packing today, which is good.
Well, we didn't do it. Whether or not we should have, whether or not we had to, I don't know. But we in fact did not.
Here's the thing. So tomorrow we're getting our second vaccine. So at lunchtime. So obviously.
And we can just run around naked outside after that.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh God.
That's on our second channel.
No, I'm sorry. Yeah, after dark.
Yeah.
No, you have to wait 2 weeks.
Right.
You get the second shot. Wait 2 weeks, then you can just be naked.
Okay.
It's the last thing on earth anybody wants to be subjected to.
There's a good
Speaking only for myself and not anyone else.
So we kind of planned ahead. We've got a lot of stuff done, just in case we're not feeling well, over the weekend or something.
I want to say that you planned ahead. I don't feel like I planned ahead. I really don't. We've gotten a lot done, but I just feel like the whole thing is extremely stressful.
It is.
But yeah, I kind of, who knows, because, some people have no side effects. We don't really talk about that. People always talk about the side effects, but some people don't.
Yeah, what if you don't?
But I expect to. I don't know why. I just expect to.
Well, my twin sister had her second one, but she had a different version. and she felt fine. But
that may be a good sign, at least for you, though.
It could be. So, knock on wood.
Well, I don't. Maybe you told me that. I don't know.
I don't think I did.
That's probably a good sign for you, anyway. Doesn't really help me.
Right.
But that just means you'll have to do more work this weekend while I.
Yeah. Hey, Jen, can you bring me? Can you make me a sandwich?
I don't think I've ever once.
No.
Ever asked you to make me a sandwich.
I think it's hilarious though because
we've been married for 26 years. I don't think I've ever asked you to make me a sandwich.
No, and I think
you would do it voluntarily,
I totally
but I
would.
don't think I've ever asked.
Yeah, I think that's funny because on my other Instagram, I always obviously talk about food a lot, And since we've been home and everything, and I show my lunches, and they'll say, "Did you make that for your husband too?" And I'm like, "No."
And I'm not putting anybody down. It's just that if you did, I'd be like, I would look at you like I'm not a child.
Yeah,
I
I'm
can
not
make
like
a
making
sandwich.
I'm not making you peanut butter and jelly.
But you know,
Do you want
I mean-
the crust on or off?
Well, when you come from a family with lots of kids, you have to, do a lot of stuff on your own. I mean, it was probably worse for my older siblings, but in any event, we made our lunches and did, stuff like that.
I was excited to make my lunch for school because I could put in whatever I wanted, which was gross now that I think about which my favorite sandwich was.
What was your favorite sandwich?
It was bologna,
I knew you were going to say it.
sweet pickles, and potato chips on my bread. And then when I got it, I'd keep the potato chips separate so it wouldn't get soggy.
Of course.
And same with the pickles. Assemble it, put the potato chips on, crunch, and then eat it.
When I was a freshman in high school and I was on the swim team, it was a very long day because we'd go to practice right after we had 9 periods, and I think they only have 8 now.
I think they have 8 now.
And so you'd go right to there was a separate locker room for the swim team. However, we would go and work out first. We would run, then we'd go to the weight room, and then we would go swimming. So it was we'd get out of there like 6:30. So I'm making excuses for myself. But honest to God, during the season, when I had these very long days, I would make 3 peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
Well, yeah,
for
because
lunch.
you're gonna be starving.
And I would eat them, and I weighed about 50
Same.
pounds.
Yeah, I was
ridiculous.
like the skinniest I've ever been eating that kind of thing.
It was insane, but I would be starving by lunchtime, and I got through till dinner, but yeah, it was brutal, and that was a lot of fun walking home at 6:30 at night. It would be cold out. You'd still be wet. Your hair would be
right.
wet.
And you're like starving.
3 peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and nothing else because they're just we didn't in the old days. You kids don't understand how this
There was one choice.
In the old days, there were no chips in the house. You didn't have chips in the house. Was it somebody's graduation?
Right. Are people coming over?
Are people coming over? I didn't think we had chips when people came over. It was not a thing that we did. Anyway.
That's funny.
3 peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
I've never had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
I
I
love
do
it.
not
And
like the combo
in my
of
defense,
it at all.
In my defense, I would have 3 peanut butter and jelly sandwiches on wheat bread.
All right, well that's
So that was
slightly better.
Right. Oh, I would.
That's not. I mean, that's not a
can
bad thing. I mean, if you think about it, I mean, that's not like horrible.
I think, although now I just like peanut butter. I don't know that I would get that excited about a peanut butter jelly sandwich.
I can eat a jelly sandwich. I can eat a peanut butter sandwich.
You don't like the combination?
Just not peanut butter and jelly. Mm-mm.
I don't mind the combination, but of the two, clearly peanut butter is the better one.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know how we got on that subject.
But we will be in 2 weeks' time. We'll be fully vaccinated. We won't do what I said before, and I won't repeat it. But we will be able to go just about anywhere and do just about anything. And you know what? I don't think I'll live much of a different life at all. I think I'll still be sitting on the couch most of the time.
Yeah.
Not because of like paranoia. It's just that first of all, I'm not that uncomfortable being at home.
Same.
And the whole pandemic thing is like we were like not just stuck at home, but we were stuck at home like worrying about all this stuff. Now, if we're not like worrying about all that kind of stuff, I think stuck at home isn't such a bad thing.
It isn't.
But I have everyone is talking about going to concerts and traveling and all that, and obviously we'll do that eventually. But it's not something I just don't feel like.
I'm not in a rush to like get be out and about all the time doing
Right.
all the things.
Well, and you know what the thing that's weird about it, I think we kind of talked about this before, is like, there's still this thing. If like we won't really care because we'll be vaccinated, we should be fine. But if you go to the grocery store, if you go to a restaurant or whatever, I don't have to explain everywhere I go. Oh no, it's cool, we're vaccinated.
Right.
And I also, I'm not interested in conflict or confrontations with me. I don't want someone coming up and going, "Oh, why aren't you wearing a mask?" Or or I don't want to be around when people are arguing about masks
Yeah.
and all that stuff either. So I think that I don't see a
And I've
huge
heard-
change in the short term.
Yeah, and I've heard
Not
a lot
out of like
people,
fear or paranoia.
No, but I know a lot of people who are just continuing to wear the mask just because if they're in a situation where like employees of a place have to wear their masks, just as a sign courtesy.
Right,
to,
and
like,
I that's the other part of it too. Is like I don't really want to put other people on the spot where like they have to ask, right? If you go into a place, because I don't know exactly what the rules are, but they're clearly
either, actually.
yeah. I mean it's changing a lot, but they're clearly relaxing. I'm just talking about here in Illinois. Clearly relaxing a lot of the requirements. But the thing is though, so if you go into this, even if it's legal or whatever to go into the store without the mask, then does some minimum wage employee have to come up and ask you, or do they not ask you because it's an awkward thing? But then they worry about, are they? I don't want to put people in that position. So I don't really see a huge change other than not being worried about anything.
Yes. Plus, it's
Which is, by the way, the running around naked was a metaphor for not being worried about anything.
Okay, thank you.
So just to clarify.
Appreciate that. Plus, obviously, we're going to be in a new house, different scenery, different neighborhood.
That's true.
We've got a pool in our backyard. So, I mean, all
there's
those
that.
things are going to be fun, and just be having a different change of pace, I think, is going to be nice. And less noise, way less noise.
So a week from today, we close on the thing, and then we don't know whether we'll have everything packed by this time
Fingers
next
crossed.
Thursday night. But they're showing up Friday morning, and that's it.
Yep.
So I guess we should point out that maybe it might be a little dicey next week in terms
Definitely.
of. I mean, we said that before too.
Yeah.
Especially I was thinking, and I don't know how it'll be. Two things. Number one, this Saturday we might be a little wiped out
Yes.
with the vaccine. Next Thursday might be a little crazy because we don't know how long we're going to be tied up with the closing.
Plus, we have to pack this equipment up.
We do, but we don't have to use all the fancy equipment.
That's true. We could just use your phone.
Yeah, or yours.
That's true.
Although that's a whole nother complicated thing with all the weird, Instagram is weird.
Yeah, because I used to be able to log into our joint account from my phone, and now it doesn't let me do that.
Was that when we got the new phones?
Mhm.
Was that, that drives me nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've had all kinds
But
of
I also have Instagram for work that I use, and if I change anything, then I have to like verify to log into that
Right,
account, and so
right.
I don't want to mess anything up.
No,
so
no,
it's
that
just
makes
kinda,
sense.
like crazy because it's like you got to go through a lot of hoops.
So, but we're not gonna do a live broadcast from the closing.
Yeah.
They would love that, right?
Yeah.
We walk in.
Do you guys mind if
Yeah.
we do like a time lapse?
Everybody
It'll be
say
like
hi.
8 hours later.
Yeah. Everybody say hi. Yeah, and it is, that's the other thing is it's going to be in person. We weren't sure about that, whether it would be remote or in person. Legally, they can do it remotely because you can sign documents remotely and all that. They can have documents notarized remotely. But the title company apparently, and I'm
They want to
fine
meet
with
us.
it. They want to meet us. We're kind of a big deal.
We're kind of influencers, so they're
Yeah.
like, hey, I'd like to see these people come. So
Right. So we have to physically be present so we can,
Yeah.
show our IDs and whatnot. And that's right.
But
The only rule
actually-
is if you're signing something, they want you physically there.
You had a great idea though. So we're doing the walkthrough beforehand, going to the closing, then bringing things that are more fragile
Right.
to the closing. So then afterwards we can go back to the house and putting up. So like my fancy camera, our guitars, like
Now
paperwork.
someone's going to break into the house.
I know. So just things that we don't want to
I
put on the
still
truck.
say, I like the idea. I think we should just, all the musical equipment, so we could show up and the neighbors will freak out.
Set up Claire's drums.
Claire's
kit,
drums, our guitars, the amps, the whole thing.
Get the microphone stands out and then
Yeah.
just be like, we're here.
But that will depend, I suppose. in
Okay,
part
the
of how
other
long it
thing, I
takes.
don't think I've mentioned this, is that there's already a basketball hoop in the driveway, which
Well,
I love.
is it permanent or is it?
I think it's permanent, like I think it's cemented in.
Oh, that I don't
For
recall.
those of you who don't know, I love to play basketball, so definitely getting a basketball and gonna be out there.
She's real competitive though,
I
so
am.
you don't want to. You really don't want to play we're gonna just leave and let you. Can you dunk?
I can't dunk, no. But the funny thing is, I'll just tell this quick story, is I was on the basketball team in 7th and 8th grade. I'm 5'2". That doesn't seem like it, but at the time I was kind of tall, you know, I mean, obviously there's people taller and stuff like that. But my dad had, he was not a coach, however, he had the clipboard that had
the diagram.
Yes, that had the erasable thing. And
Like
so
a little mini whiteboard.
after the game or whatever, if he wanted to critique us or tell us like what he should have done, he, you know, would always give strategy about like how to do stuff. So I do think I picked up some, not that I'm in a game that thing, I usually just like
She invented the triangle offense.
Yes. But I remember getting the Chuck's high tops, and I thought it was like so cool, and yeah, so.
And now you know they don't provide any real ankle support.
No, they're the flimsiest
But when you're a
thing.
kid, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You don't need it.
So yeah, there will be basketball playing a lot.
You could have. I don't know. I was gonna say you're gonna try to push Claire out of the way. She's taller than you.
Yeah, she'll
just hold the ball.
Yeah, and I'll be like trying to jump up, and our middle son's tall, so he'd probably
He's
be
very
like.
tall.
So that's gonna be fun too.
That's
Right?
fantastic. That's fantastic. I played on a Chicago Bar Association league a long, long time ago. So long ago that I remember driving to a game on a Sunday, listening to the Bears lose to Washington in the playoffs. And I think it was a year after the Super Bowl. Could that be? I know they lost. I want to say they lost in the first round that year. And I believe they lost to Washington. But they lost to Washington more than once.
How, I mean, was it like, did you practice and then play games, or did you just like play games?
You know, we did practice, although what there was a place in the city where we would practice on Saturdays. And you know how we worked ridiculous hours. So we'd go to work Saturday morning, and then at some point take a break and go and practice a little bit, and then the games were typically, maybe always on Sunday. There were like different leagues, so I think they had some on weeknights, but ours were on
That's kind
Sunday.
of fun.
Yeah, it was fun. I don't think we were really that great. We also used to play, especially first year in law school, on Fridays, a group of us would go over to, because the law school was near this big rec center, and we used to play. And here's another thing. We used to play in, my friend Don, I won't say his last name because he probably doesn't want me talking about him at all. My buddy Don was the only Baptist I knew growing up. Went to that big Baptist church up by the park up there.
By the tennis courts.
By the tennis courts, and the sanctuary was actually upstairs, and so because they had like classrooms and so forth, and they had a big gym, and we used to play. We would just pick up games, a group of us from high school and college, and we'd play there. But the significance, because I'm gonna name drop, the reason why I mention that is because one of the members of that church is Alice Cooper's wife.
Oh, yes.
Is from our hometown. And I think they're still married.
Fun fact.
I think they're still married.
I don't know if they still live here, though.
No, they don't. I don't think they ever lived.
Oh, okay.
You mean the family or Alice Cooper?
The family.
I don't know.
All right.
In fact, he was the pastor at the church.
There you go.
Okay.
I know exactly what you're talking
And
about.
another friend who used to play pickup games with Isaiah Thomas years ago.
That's lucky.
Yeah, at St. Catherine, St. Lucie.
Oh, there you go.
Not a Baptist church.
No. I didn't know we had so many basketball stories. That's kind of fun. That's
Oh,
like
it's
a new
the Basketball
topic.
Diaries,
Yeah.
like Jim Carroll.
Okay, we're going to have to title this one.
Right. The Basketball Diaries, that's right. The novel by Jim Carroll.
Sapphire.
Jim Carroll, who was also a great musician, who wrote a song called People Who Died.
Okay, I don't know that.
And then sadly he died. But those are not related
Not
things.
connected at all.
Leo DiCaprio was in the movie version of the Basketball Diaries, played essentially Jim Carroll.
I never saw that actually. I'm gonna have to look that up.
He was kind of a punk rocker.
All right, good to know. All right, well, that was a fun episode of different things we had to share tonight, not knowing what we were going to talk about. But it all came together. So
It's all carefully scripted to look like we don't know what
right.
we're doing.
So we'll fill you in maybe on Saturday if we're feeling up to it, how tomorrow goes with our second vaccine. And
we can't take pictures in the venue. You see a lot of people posting pictures but at the place we're going, they said no photos.
Yeah. So we'll just have to take one out.
They don't want the paparazzi. Yeah, we could.
We'll take one out in the parking lot.
Okay.
We'll post it on our stories.
Okay. If we remember.
We remember.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, so that's what's going on with us. Busy stuff. Everything's going great though so far. So knock on wood, it continues to do so. And we will talk to you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.